Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Time to bring some focus to your favorite and not so favorite films. Cam here, and welcome back to Cam in Focus. So, did anyone watch either of the Hitman movies? No, of course not. Why would you? They're not good. The games, though? They're awesome. With stealth and strategy-filled gameplay making every mission contain a multitude of solutions makes each entry in the gaming franchise better than the last. Unfortunately, I'm not here to talk about the games, though I wish I was. I've had a monumentally better time playing those than I've ever had watching these movies, though I'll admit that one of the two is much worse than the other. There was one released in 2007 starring Timothy Olyphant, and another released in 2015 starring Rupert Friend. So this will be a 3-part video series. For part 1, I'll be talking about 2015's Hitman Agent 47. Part 2 will be a discussion of 2007's Hitman. And for part 3, I will directly compare the two in order to determine once and for all which Hitman film reigns supreme. If by supreme we're talking about an expired Taco Bell meal. Let's get started with Agent 47. Why am I doing them out of order? Because screw this choppily edited, written into the dirt, stale piece of Wonder Bread of a movie. I yearn for brighter days when I don't have to talk about this movie anymore. So when Hitman Agent 47 came out in 2015, people were skeptical to say the least. Not only was the general public not really pining for a new Hitman movie after the 2007 version, but they also brought in newcomer Alexander Bach as director. And when I say newcomer, I mean that this was literally his first film, his directorial debut, his premiere, and, not surprisingly, his finale. This is the only film he's directed, at least up to this point, and it shows. This movie is bland, it's stiff, it's stale, it's flavorless. If it was a spice, it'd be dandruff. I'm honestly embarrassed to say that I sat through this. It's not just that it's a bad movie. I could have forgiven it for that. It's the fact that it takes everything about Hitman that makes it fun to experience and says, yeah, let's not. And instead gives us the tried and true method of grumpy man takes a special girl/young person under his wing storytelling. And that story is marred down with so much exposition that the dialogue feels like a chore to listen to. Not once did the conversations feel authentic. I wish I was kidding when I say that literally every word of dialogue out of the mouths of these characters is expository because the audience members are apparently idiots who can't be trusted to piece a plot together. Maybe that's a good thing though, because this story is so paper thin that you'd think it was written by a tissue. So the film needed to milk every last facet of it for as long as the runtime would allow because God forbid we get a film with any nuance. So what's the story? Katya, played by Hannah Ware, is trying to find her father, played by Kieran, just here for a check, Hines, with the help of Agent 47, played by Rupert Friend. And that's it. No, seriously, that's all. Any expansion on that would be pointless rhetoric because nothing that happens that isn't solely important to that story is just exposition-filled flab. Okay, story aside, is the action okay? Nope! It's chopped and edited to absolute shit. Not one stunt looks believable. Okay, I take that back. There was one kind of cool stunt. And there it went. The camera is always positioned to hide obvious stunt doubles, and it just comes off like the actors aren't committed to the stunt work. Stunt work, that's a good one. Not to mention, none of the characters have any personality whatsoever. How the hell did they make Zachary Quinto so boring? This man played Spock for the love of God and was still somehow more monotone than that. 47 in this film is just an expressionless drone whose only purpose is to shoot things and spout more exposition. And Katya is there. That's about it. Oh, what's that? You're not convinced yet how atrociously bland this movie is? Okay, how about this? I'm going to show you 3 scenes from the movie, the 3 that I find to be the biggest examples of why this film blows, and maybe you'll agree with me. Here we go. Number 1. Katya gets captured by police and Agent 47 enters the compound to break her out. Now in the games, this would entail having to find a way in, taking someone out and disguising yourself, maybe disabling security, doing your best not to be noticed. So, what does 47 do in this movie? Why, he just walks right in, of course. Yeah, he just walks in, lets himself get captured, and just divulges exactly who he is and what he is to the cop interviewing him because f*** it, we need to take more time for exposition.
So, why don't we start with your name?
47.
It's not a name.
No. But it is mine.
Okay. All right, Mr. 47. What exactly are you?
An assassin.
No stealth, no disguises, nothing that even remotely invokes the feeling of playing the games. Let's just walk right in. Number 2. So the whole plot hinges around Katya trying to find her father whom she hasn't seen since childhood. And when she finds him, guess what? More exposition! Not one single shred of emotion. No way to portray to the audience, I missed my dad. No heartfelt words exchanged. Just, hey dad, so what's going on with the plot?
You shouldn't have come.
You know who I am?
You are your mother's daughter.
Why did you leave me?
I wanted you to have no part of what I was.
For a film already so devoid of emotion in the first place, this just feels like a slap in the face because the one time that a scene in this movie actually could benefit from a couple of tears, they decide to forego that in favor of making sure the audience knows what the fucking story is about because they couldn't figure out a better way to clue us the fuck in. Number 3. Alright, so we reach the final battle of the film, and suddenly Katya, a girl who has never killed a single person in her life, never underwent any agent training, is now suddenly fighting on par with 47, and is just emotionlessly mowing fools down like it's just another Tuesday. At what point in this character's story did she suddenly become Trinity from the Matrix? Sure, let's just skate right by the fact that she's taking lives for the first time so that we can watch her shoot her guns with the same emotionless expression as 47, and let's make sure the editing makes you want to vomit a bowl of Legos too just for good measure. And it all leads to a final few seconds that makes no real sense and tries to set up a sequel. Nice try. Here's the pooch, you screwed it. Ugh. So yeah, I hate this movie. I'll admit it's not offensively bad, or even in a so bad it's good sense, it's just boring, lazy, uninspired, and cut to shit with so many different angles I feel like any decent editor would have a stroke trying to piece this together. Anyway, tune in next time for part 2, where I'll be discussing the 2007 version of Hitman, which, while it's not a great film or barely even a good one, it's still leagues ahead of this one. Thanks for stopping by, be sure to subscribe, and have a wonderful day.